Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with Season 2, Episode 11 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. So here we are with our sorting system, and as promised, we're going to do some quick testing of it. I did a little bit of this off camera between last episode and now, and I wanted to show you I did change a couple things to hopefully make it run a little smoother. And of course now we have zombies banging on our door. First thing I did, I added one of these redstone energy cells over here to store up power for our system. You can see it is pumping energy down along the line there. Couple other things I did. I added in a restriction tube right here. Basically what this thing does is it will count as a distance of 50 blocks in terms of pneumatic tubes. The way that red power works is that items going through pneumatic tubes will try to go to the closest inventory. So by putting this here, we're making sure that as things come out of these the sorting machine here, that they won't try to go back that way. They will continue on toward our chest room over there. So cool. So the other thing I did was you can see I changed this buffer into a relay, as the buffer wasn't actually doing what I thought it was going to do. But that's okay, because we ended up using that buffer to make this relay, so hopefully you guys can remember how that works. And all these relays are now pointed in the right direction. I think I had some of them flipped upside down, but point of note, basically on the inputs, well, the output needs to be the stone side facing wherever you want it to go. So, I mean, that makes a certain amount of sense. Stone side toward the machine, stone side toward the pipe. Cool. Let's see. There was one other thing I did, and this was where most of my testing came into play, and I'll do a little bit of that on camera here today. But as you can see, I've already started adding some things to our system. Pretty much we've got all our ores, all our different kinds of ores. Apparently we've got another type of silver ore. I'm not sure what that's from. Maybe I didn't think Greg Tech actually added any ore generation, but I'm not really sure where this type of silver ore comes from, but we can already accommodate it in our system, so no big deal. So we got our ores. These are all our pulverizable ores. These are our non-pulverizable ores. So the ones that can get pulverized are obviously going to light blue. The ones that cannot go to dark blue. And you can see this cover is making sure this pipe is not connecting to our sawmill relay. We've also got some of these things like coal and redstone. I think glowstone will also end up here. That is being painted cyan, so as it automatically comes into the system, it's going to bypass all of this and head straight into this room. Hopefully you guys can see a bit underneath this block that it's going to go right here to this cyan tube and into our chest. Cool. And then of course you could see I did the same thing with wood going to the green line into our sawmill. Cool. So if it's not any of those things, we've got it right over here. Just basically setting up with metals going to the light blue. Now again, because this restriction tube is here, as this metal comes into the sorting machine and gets painted light blue, it's not going to go back that way because of this restriction tube. It's going to go on this way to where we have the light blue in our metals chest. Make sense? Cool. And then we also have some of these gemmy things going to dark blue, where again, not going to head that way because of the restriction tube. It's going to come right over here into our blue tube. Make sense? Cool. And same with the wood, going to green. So basically, as you guys can see, there's still plenty of room between both sorting machines to add more stuff to the system as we come across it. And yeah, so with that done, I don't think we have any. Actually, we do. We've got a little bit of monazite here, and we've got some aluminum, so we can run that through the system. And we'll grab a little bit of metal, just so you guys can see it. And gold, sure, that'll do. We'll also grab a quarter of a stack of coal and redstone. And we'll run this stuff through the system, and I'll show you guys how it's working. We've also got a little bit of this stuff here. Okay. Yeah. So let's pop over here. And we'll just toss this stuff into our chest, and you can see it's automatically getting pulled out by our sorting machine, and it's coloring things appropriately. You can see the blue stuff is going down. Obviously, that sorting machine doesn't know what to do with metal, so that paints it white and sends it along the line. There we go. And it pops out as light blue, and then gets sent right over here into our chests. And so you'll see in a second here, stuff will start appearing. There we go. Cool, right? So that's our sorting system, and like I said, it's definitely has lots of room for expansion. You can see our monazite and our aluminum has already finished processing in our machines and is getting sent over here and deposited in the proper chests. So yeah, that's done. So with that done, I think we're about ready to close this all up. I don't think there's anything else I need to do in the ground here, so why don't I do that off camera? I think I'm going to be using some Zycraft blocks. Hopefully we have enough to do that. And when I come back, we're going to be taking a little journey across the world. So I definitely have something cool to show you guys. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and before we head out to move on to the next sort of thing I want to do, I want to show you guys, I went ahead and painted the wood and forestry chest green. And I'm using covers to block off these paths because I'm pretty sure if I leave them open for now, then anything that's green will try to go into those because they'll consider those to be valid inventories, and I don't want that. I want those to be something different eventually, but I don't really want to mess with it just yet, so yeah. So we're just basically going to use covers underneath here to block off the pipe, and you can maybe see if I maybe dig down a level. You can see the covers keep the pipes from connecting to each other. Obviously when they're painted they don't connect to each other, but since these aren't yet painted, we need to do something there. So that done, I'm now also going to make some of these hollow covers so that we can make this look a little better. Yeah, that'll probably do. It's more than we need for this, for what we're doing here, but it'll do the trick. So if I can position these right, these things are cool because, let's see if I can put it down so you can see it. As you can see, it's a cover, but it is hollow, which will allow our pipes to go through them. So if we just slap these on right like so, the pipes will still connect, unlike over here, and yeah, it'll work. I'm going to go ahead and leave these, since these are further along the line. I'm not too concerned about it, but yeah. So if I dig down, you should maybe be able to see evidence that the pipe is going through the cover. So once we cover this back up, grab my cordite bricks. You can't even tell what's going on, right? Cool. So that done, I'm going to stash these fancy covers and such. And I'm probably also going to stash, I want to stash our paintbrush for the time being. We're definitely going to need to make some more paint sometime down the line, but it's not terribly necessary just yet. I'll probably do that off camera since you guys have already seen how to make paint and how to use it. So all of that done, there is something I wanted to work on, and that is I want to shift over to factorization briefly, and then we're going to go check out something I did off camera between last episode and this one. So let me get together some of the stuff I'm going to need for that, and I'll be back. Alright, so I lied briefly. Before we go, because I'm going to have to go do a little bit of mining, I want to show you guys this. I'm going to make myself a couple different kinds of bags. And the first bags I'm going to make are from forestry. I'm going to make a digger's backpack, so you can see the recipe here. We're just going to need a bit of wool, like so, a bit of stone. Actually, we're going to need to, come on, Give me my stone and wool back. Need to make a couple chests first. Give me my wool. There we go. We'll just put that there. 1, 2. And now we can do our wool, our stone, and string in the corners. Give us a digger's backpack. And similarly, if we put some wool and some string with another chest which is already in the middle, a couple iron, we'll get a miner's backpack. Now these are really cool. Basically what they'll do is I've got a couple different modes on them. We've got the normal mode, which will just let it intake things. And we've got, basically you can see it's an extra inventory that can only hold a certain type of item. Digger's backpack, for example, can only hold things like soft materials, things like dirt and sand and gravel and stone and cobble. Actually, I'm not sure about stone, but definitely cobblestone. I'm not sure if smooth stone is considered a diggable material or a construction material. I'll have to look into it. So that's all it can hold. And then similarly, the miner's backpack can only hold things like ores and diamonds and stuff you would mine up out of the ground. You can also go into the config files and add additional items to these bags, but I have not. So there you go. Like I said, a couple different modes. This mode right here, as you can see the little brown lock on it, nothing will go into the bag. This mode right here, if I were to use this on, say, a chest, I believe is how it works. Let's take a look. Maybe it'll work on a barrel. I'm actually not positive. That's basically the receiving mode is what we were just on. So you can use it to pull things out of your chest and that sort of thing straight into the bag. The yellow arrow mode, come on. Why are you not switching modes? There we go. The yellow arrow mode, basically what it'll do is it will keep, let's say we're trying to keep cobblestone. If we have a stack of cobblestone right here, the yellow mode will keep our stack of cobblestone in our inventory constantly full using the materials from inside. So I usually like to keep the digger's backpack on that mode because I like to have things like cobblestone on me when I go mining, just a stack of it. You can see it disappeared. Well, it went into the digger's backpack. If I put it here, there's a little bit of a bug where if you open it like that, it'll do crazy things. But if I have cobblestone here, as we collect cobblestone and use it, it'll constantly keep it full. So cool. Now there's one other bag I want to make, and this is a different kind of bag from Red Power. Pretty simple to make, but we're going to need a good amount of sticks. I think we're going to need that many. And then we're just going to surround it with string, and we're going to get canvas. So we're going to need 8 of this. Ooh, we're out of string. No problem. Do I want to brave the outside? I think I'll be okay. Maybe. Both ways, and we're good. So I'm just going to steal a bit of our flax. Obviously this drops string, so pretty much doing what we want it to do. I knew there was a reason I started this stuff going. I'll just go ahead and take all of it and replant it when I get a chance. So that done. Let's just go ahead and replant it now. Alright. Lots of string. I wanted to be able to do this all in one go, but lots of flax seeds on the plus side. So we're going to need 2 more of these. 1, 2. Alright. Now if we take our canvas and put it in a hollow square, we get a canvas bag. And this works just like the other ones, except it can hold anything you want and is a bit bigger. So I'm pretty much going to use this bag to hold tools that I use a lot, but don't necessarily need all the time for like mining and that sort of thing. So bags do not like it when they are open and you try to click them and move them. Keep that in mind. So yeah, just wanted to make a couple bags. Now I'm going to go mining, and when I come back we're going to play with some new toys and hopefully have time for me to get moving across the world. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, I'm back. I wound up not having to go too far actually to get what I was after. Namely, not in the digger's backpack, in our miner's backpack is a good amount of obsidian. I'm going to need a decent amount, so I just went ahead and got some. There's also some random little bits of ores scattered with that, so toss that and that in there. Let our system process it while we're busy doing something else. So I want to go ahead and get started with a little bit of factorization, and to do that I want to basically go about the way that factorization does automatic crafting is with these things called the craft packet maker and then the stamper. So first things first, we're going to need, obviously we're going to need a piston, so let's find our piston plan there. Looks like we need a little bit of wood. Pull that out of there. So one piston, and we'll just put, all this junk is pretty full at this point. And we're also going to need a crafting table. Simple enough. Okay, and then I think it was piston on top, crafting table on the bottom. Surrounded with cobblestone. Just like that, craft packet maker. Now the other thing we're going to need is a stamper. And I'll show you guys sort of what all this stuff does individually in just a few, but I want to go ahead and get these things made first. We're going to need another piston again, and it looked like a crafting table, right? Yeah, just has iron in the middle. So crafting table, iron like so, and then some cobblestone. Cool. Craft packet stamper. Now this stuff is pretty cool. Let's find a good spot to put it. I'm thinking maybe how about right here, and we'll also put that there. Obviously we can do lots of stuff with this, but right now I'm going to use these machines manually. So pretty simple little machine. It looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Let me get some paper. There we go, sugar canes. Just going to make ourselves a bit of paper, which we've done before. So I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to stick the paper right here. Now, basically the way this thing works is, let's say, for example, let's say we want to make a furnace, and we know the recipe for the furnace calls for cobblestone in all of these positions like so. So if you put an X in it, that's where you're indicating where you want the item to be. So if we go ahead and put cobblestone here, you can see it ate up a piece of our paper, ate some of our cobblestone, and gave us a craft packet. And you can see it's sort of showing us that it's actually giving us a little bit of a 3x3 in terms of words. So you can see cobblestone, cobblestone, cobblestone on top, cobblestone, nothing cobblestone, and then cobblestone, cobblestone, cobblestone on the bottom. That gives us a furnace, as we all know. So if I were to throw this thing in here, it'll stamp out, it'll eat the plan, and it'll stamp out a furnace for us. So you might be wondering, okay, can you make more complicated things? Well, yes you can. As you can see, this thing already went ahead and ate another piece of paper to give us another furnace craft packet. And again, because I'm derping. So let me pull the cobblestone out of there. So I'm going to show you guys, well, I'm going to make something that you might be a little bit scratching your head about. I'm going to make us some TNT. So we're going to need sand and gunpowder. Uh-oh. A nearby node spews forth something foul. That means a nearby node is just spit out a wisp, I think. Ooh, that was kind of eerie. So, do we still have our... Yes, we do. So, like I said, we're going to need some gunpowder, and we're going to need some sand. And apparently, spiders have managed to get inside. Come on. As well as zombies. I'd love to know where these things are coming from. I think it's just because our lighting isn't perfect in here because it's such a big area. Anyway, sand, right? Okay, so I'm going to make this out using this craft packet stamper just to demonstrate how to make more complicated things. Obviously I can make the TNT over there, but I don't want to. So TNT recipe. You can see it right here. Let's start out with the part of it that's sand. Our sand went into our digger's backpack here. So basically the way this works, let me make some more paper. There we go. Basically the way this works is we're going to put our paper here and we're going to put our sand up here. And what? Well, that was incredibly odd. There we go. So you can see it went ahead and said sand in all of these 4 positions, but it's not the same color. What it means is this is not a complete recipe, and the craft packet maker knows that. So if I were to put this here, after clicking all this off, if I were to put this here, stop it. Okay, let's try it this way then. We'll make an X, gunpowder, and put that there. Ta-da! Now it knows that gunpowder is going to be in all these positions and sand in all the other ones. And again, like so. So if I were to do this, clearly I'm not a master of this machine yet, because I keep pulling things out at the wrong times. But you guys hopefully are getting the gist of sort of how this thing is working. I might as well go ahead and make a couple more of these, right? Let's see here. That's actually what I needed. There we go. And there we go. Now if I do this, obviously I'm making a lot of TNT packets for really no other reason other than it's fun. So there we go. So we've got ourselves quite a few of these little craft packets. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp out this furnace because why not? There we go. You see it doesn't require any power at all. But and we've already used the materials, so the materials are basically being stored in these patterns. So if I just do this, we get some TNT. We get more TNT. So I'm just going to basically keep on tossing these into here. That's another furnace, like so. And we get lots and lots of TNT for no apparent reason. Okay, so, and a bunch of furnaces that we don't really need. So, that done, you might be wondering, what is he doing with TNT? And why is he terrifying us? Well, the reason for that is I want to make some of these, let's see here, where it is. Some of these diamond shards, but you can see as I click on it, NEI doesn't know what to do with it. Well, the reason is, in order to make diamond shards, you need to use the craft packet stamper. And basically, it's also why we're going to need to go over here and use up a bit of our diamonds. 9 of them, to be exact. It sounds expensive. It is, but it's going to be worth it, I think. So, let's go ahead. We'll just take these 9 diamonds. It's not going to let us block the diamonds. Oh, because we have GregTech and they want a compressor. Okay, let me figure out. I think there's another way we can go about doing this. Let me get that together and figure out if it'll work. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, real quick, I'm thinking this is going to work. I really hope it will. It should. So we made ourselves another craft packet maker and a craft packet stamper, and combine it with some cobblestone will give us something called a packager. And this should work. I'm just going to slap it down again right next to here. You can see basically 3 tiers of factorization machines. I was kind of hoping it was going to work. Okay, if you're not using GregTech, obviously you'll be fine. I need to figure out some way. I might pop into my config and turn this off just for now, just so that I can actually show you guys what I was doing. I think I'm going to do that. So if you're not using GregTech, you'll be fine. Just go ahead and make your diamonds into a diamond block, and when I come back, you'll see what to do with it. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I lied. Basically what I just decided to do is go off on a bit of a tangent and get into at least some starting stuff with industrial craft. I was kind of wanting to avoid going into industrial craft so early in the game, but it seems that Greg Tech has forced my hand. So I've just made myself a tree tap. You could see the recipe was 5 bits of wood in the shape of a little gun. It does kind of look like a gun if you look at it sort of sideways. So I'm back in our little forest that we started in, looking for those rubber trees we found very, very early on when we first popped into the world. It should be around here somewhere. I know I've been teasing you guys a little bit with something I was working on, and I'm gonna probably have to continue teasing you guys with it, unfortunately. I believe this is a rubber tree. Whoop, looks like we got a little bit of a graphics implosion over there. We're just gonna clear off some of these leaves here. Ooh, already getting some saplings. Actually, I don't like how slow this is. I'm gonna be right back, and I'll meet you guys back in the factory for a quick second. Alright, so we're back in the factory, and I'm just gonna grab myself a bit of our gems and some sticks. And then I'm gonna pop over here and do this. I always do this wrong. It should be like that. Sickle. This is from Red Power. Once we have a sickle, you'll see we will never slowly chop off leaves ever again. Basically, the sickle is really cool. You can use it on grass, and it'll cut a big, I think, 5x5 area of grass, and we'll drop all the seeds. It'll also do this with tree leaves, which will make clearing our rubber trees for harvest much simpler. I've been really looking forward to showing you guys the sickle for a little while. I've been meaning to, and I just keep getting distracted. Seems to be the theme of today's episode, of wanting to do one thing and then getting distracted with other things. So let me just find our rubber trees again. I know I wasn't headed for one. I was at one, but I'm not going for that one. I'm going for these because this is a nice standing pack of trees. So, boom. As you can see, clears a nice big area of leaves and makes this so much easier. Cannot complain about that. So I'm just going to clip the leaves here for a second. You know, I don't even know why I'm being careful. I can just go crazy. I don't exactly care about how these trees look, because I'm going to use them once and never return. Because hopefully we're going to get ourselves a good amount of rubber tree saplings, and we'll set up a farm near our base. But we should be able to get a good amount of rubber from this. Okay, that insanity done. Basically, you can see there are all these little orange blotchy spots on the sides of our rubber tree. So if we use our tree tap, right click, it'll pop out sticky resin. This stuff is very useful. We use it to make rubber. And we're just going to cook it for now. And it smelts on a 1-to-1 basis. So 1 sticky resin will turn into 1 rubber. But later on, when we have an extractor going, that'll be able to turn each sticky resin into 3 rubber. So, very, very nice. There is rubber tree sapling up there that I really want. So I think I'm going to get it. There we go. Let's see if there's any more rubber. In this texture pack, the little drill holes are really obvious. I kind of like that. Because if you can technically, if you hit these drill holes again, they will spit out some more resin, but you can potentially deplete a tree by doing that. And, well, I don't necessarily see a reason not to with these. See? We can just keep on going until our tree tap breaks. So, got ourselves 21 sticky resin. That'll probably do us for now. So let me head back to the factory and I'll meet you guys back there. Alright, I'm back, and I think we're getting probably pretty close to the point where we need to call this episode, but I don't necessarily have a problem with it running a little bit long, because I want to get this part of this done before the end of this episode. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to be waiting for this to process, because we're going to need quite a bit of rubber so we can make cabling. And we're going to need two items. We're going to make a compressor, which is pretty simple. Looks something like this. So we're going to need, what is that, 6 cables, and we're also going to need a generator. Let's take a look at that. That's not the one I wanted. Generator, there we go. So we're going to need a bit of cable for this as well. So I'm just gonna, there we go, that'll do. Do we have any iron on us? We do. I'm gonna go ahead and stick, we're gonna need, I think that'll do. Bit of that. Basically put that in our hopper so that the iron will cook up, and when it cooks up you'll be able to see what that cooks into. Just trust me for now. I'm trying to take a few shortcuts just so that we can save a little bit of time and I can get this in before the end of this episode. So if we take some copper, surround it with rubber like so, we're going to get copper cables. We're going to need a little bit more than that, so we grab a little bit more copper and make a few more. Okay. So first things first, we're going to make a generator, and here's the recipe. It calls for a machine block, which is 8 refined iron in a square like so, and it's also going to require a furnace, which is kind of convenient because we have one of those. So let me grab, hopefully we should be done with that. Yep, refined iron's getting produced. Cool. So we're going to need, I think we're going to end up needing 2 of these, but we'll make the one with that. We're also going to need a bit of tin. So let's grab some tin. If I can find it. There we go. And we're also going to need some redstone. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so if we take one of our copper cables and tin on the outside like so, with a bit of redstone in the middle, we're going to get an RE battery. Now we need this to make our generator. So we're just going to take one of our furnaces we made with our craft packet stamper with a machine block and an RE battery, and we get a generator. Cool. Now the other thing we're going to need is a compressor. And you can see the recipe for it here. It calls for another machine block and an electronic circuit, which is just some refined iron, some redstone, and some cables. So, piece of cake. Hopefully our refined iron is done. Yes, it is. So I'll throw this in here very quickly. Redstone on the sides and copper cabling like so. Gives us an electronic circuit. And then we'll take our refined iron and make a machine block. Now I'm going to toss this in here like so, and I'm going to grab a bit of smooth stone that we had cooked up some time ago, and if we surround it on the sides we get a compressor. Excellent. That is exactly what we want. Now let's find a place to stash this for the time being. I'm thinking, how about over here? That'll do. Yeah. So obviously this is not the most efficient way to handle this, but really we just need this enough to do sort of the job we want it to do. So if we dig under the ground and we can get some of our copper cabling and run it like so, you can see it connects to the generator and it'll also connect to our compressor. And I'm pretty sure since the compressor is right next to the generator, we technically don't need that, but it doesn't hurt to show you guys how that works anyway. So the generator. Basically the generator works by burning up fuel to produce power. And we're just going to use coal because that's, my inventory is horrifically full at the moment, because that's really all we need at the moment. So Pop the coal in there, and you can see it starts to burn and produces power. And our little energy thing here shows the compressor is getting some fuel. So if we throw our diamonds in, they will begin compressing. And it should just be one thing, because it should eat 9 diamonds to do this. Come on, almost there. Not in exactly a fast running machine, but not too long. There we go. Block a diamond. Now we can do the whole thing that I was trying to do from the get-go. So, paper in the middle. Should be a block of diamond in the center. There we go. And then we're going to take, I'm trying to remember the recipe off the top of my head. I should probably just look it up. Give me a second to make sure I have this in the right order, because I don't want to mess it up. I'll be back. Okay, I've got it. So it's going to be obsidian in the corners, like so. And then it's going to be TNT, like so. And we've got ourselves a craft packet. And the whole reason I was going to all this trouble is right here. So we take our craft packet, boom, end up with diamond shards. That is the recipe to make diamond shards. It absolutely must be made in the stamper. It cannot be made just in a crafting table. So there we go. So what did I want to do with this? Well, unfortunately, this is probably where we're going to have to call this episode, but I will give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek by going ahead and making this little tool. Take 1 diamond shard with a bit of nether brick, and we get a wrath igniter. Ooh, fancy. So, since this episode has run a little long, I'm going to have to say this is where we're going to have to call this episode, but stay tuned for next episode where I'm going to use this thing, and the world is going to burn down, apparently. We'll be careful, I promise. But I'll use it, I'll show you why I'm using it, and then I will show you guys what I've been alluding to all episode. So until then, hope you guys enjoyed. This has been episode 11 of DarkDragoon's Feed the Beast Mod Pack Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you guys later.